Welcome to Headstones and Microphones, where we use AI to step into the past through a researched, first-person simulation of history's most interesting people. I am your host, Calvin. While we've added some creative storytelling, our goal is to inspire your own study of these fascinating lives. Now, let's meet our guest. Today, we are joined by a giant of engineering, a man whose designs paved the roads of the 20th century. For those who may somehow not know who you are, who are you?
Guten Tag, Calvin. I am Ferdinand Porsche. Most people hear my name and think of the fast sports cars my son Ferry made famous. But I was just a man with a deep, deep love for the machine and how to make it move.
We are honored to have you. Let's go back to the start. When and where were you born?
I was born on September 3, 1875. My home was Maffersdorf, a North Bohemian town in what was then Austria-Hungary. It is now called Vratislavice in the Czech Republic.
What was your given name at birth?
Simply, Ferdinand Porsche. My father was Anton and my mother was Anna.
What was your hometown like growing up?
Maffersdorf was a bustling center of industrialization. It was a place of work, of metal, and of the future. My father had a tinsmith shop right there at Tunwaldska 38. We lived where we worked, surrounded by the smell of solder and the sound of hammers.
What was your family life like?
It was a very busy household. We were 5 children in total. My father was a strict man, very focused on his trade. He wanted his children to follow in his footsteps as tinsmiths. My mother, Anna, she was the one who saw my spark for something else.
What kind of kid were you?
I was a tinker. While other children played outside, I was fascinated by the new magic, electricity. When I was just a teenager, I secretly experimented in our attic. I even built battery-powered lights for my ice skates. Can you imagine the sight on the frozen pond? A young boy gliding along with glowing feet.
That's incredible. What were your biggest fears growing up?
My biggest fear was being confined to a life without innovation. My father initially forbade me from messing with electricity. He thought it was a distraction from the family plumbing and tinsmithing business. The thought of never being allowed to explore that world was quite scary for me.
What did you dream of becoming as a child?
I wanted to understand everything about power. Not political power, but the power that moves things. I saw an electric light bulb at a local carpet factory, and I was mesmerized. From that moment, I knew I wanted to be an engineer.
What were some of your favorite activities in school?
I loved my technical courses. I attended evening classes at the Imperial Technical School in Reichenberg. I would work in my father's shop all day and then walk 8 kilometers to school at night just to learn about electrical engineering.
What was your first job?
After my apprenticeship with my father, I went to Vienna in 1893. I got a job as a technician with a company called Bella Egger & Co. I was only 18, but I was already developing my first electric wheel hub motor there.
Was there a moment where you realized you were different from everyone else?
It was when I realized that I didn't just want to fix things, I wanted to invent them from scratch. While others were happy with the status quo of horse and carriage, I was already envisioning the electric and hybrid future. At the 1900 Paris Exposition, I showed my electric loaner Porsche chaise. That was the moment the world realized I was looking at things differently.
What's a decision that changed everything for you, that felt small at the time?
Deciding to move to Vienna with the help of a factory manager named Ginsky, he was the one who convinced my parents to let me go study. That small push away from the family workshop changed the entire trajectory of my life.
What was your biggest break?
Winning the Prince Henry Tour in 1910 while driving a car of my own design for Austro-Daimler. It proved that my theories on aerodynamics and high performance were correct. It cemented my reputation as a top-tier engineer.
What were your biggest struggles before success?
Convincing people that electric and hybrid power was viable. I built the world's first hybrid car, the Mixty, in 1901. People thought it was too complex, too out there. It took a long time for the world to catch up to my ideas.
Did you ever consider quitting?
Never. I have a semper vivus, always alive spirit. Even when I faced setbacks at Daimler, or when I struck out on my own in 1931 during a global depression, I kept building.
Were there any specific daily habits or routines that you feel are essential to your success?
I was a relentless worker. 12-hour days were the norm for me. I believed in DNA of innovation. Minimizing weight and air resistance was my obsession. I also loved to be behind the wheel myself, to feel what the machine was telling me.
What job would you have had if fame never happened?
I would have likely stayed a tinsmith or a plumber in Maffersdorf. I would have been the man who fixed every doorbell and lighting system in the village.
What was your life like before fame?
It was a life of quiet experimentation. I was a man in an attic with sulfuric acid and wires, hoping my father wouldn't catch me. It was very humble.
Did fame bring happiness?
The happiness came from seeing my designs on the road, seeing the people's car become a reality. That brought me a great sense of fulfillment.
What misconceptions did people have about you?
Some thought I was only interested in racing and luxury, but my true goal was often the opposite. I wanted to create efficient, economical transportation for everyone.
Who had the biggest influence on your life?
My mother, Anna. Without her persuading my father to let me attend technical school, I might have spent my whole life making buckets and pipes.
What was life like in your final years?
I spent much of my time at our family estate, Schuttgut, in Selamse. It was a place of refuge. I finally got to see the Volkswagen factory again in 1950 and see the success of the Beetle.
What were you working on in your career before you passed away?
I was discussing the future of the Beetle with Volkswagen's leadership. I was also watching with great pride as my son Ferry launched the Porsche 356, the first car to truly carry our family name.
When and where and how did you pass away, and how old were you?
I suffered a stroke shortly after that visit to Wolfsburg. I passed away in Stuttgart on January 30th, 1951. I was 75 years old.
What's a random fact about you most people have never heard?
In 1917, I received an honorary doctorate from the Technical University of Vienna for my work on aircraft engines, even though I never officially graduated from a university.
What was your favorite food?
I was a man of simple tastes. A good, hearty bohemian meal from my childhood was always my favorite.
Did you have any known rivalries?
I had many creative disagreements with boards of directors. At Daimler, I often clashed with them because they wanted to focus on luxury and I wanted to build smaller, more efficient cars.
What's your funniest behind-the-scenes moment?
It has to be those glowing ice skates. Imagine the look on the faces of the village elders when a boy comes zipping across the ice in the dark with lights on his feet. They thought it was witchcraft.
What advice would you give people chasing success?
Efficiency is everything. Do not add weight where it is not needed, in your machines or in your life. Stay true to your origins and keep moving forward, even when the road is winding.
Ferdinand, do you have any closing remarks about the interview or the stories you shared that you would like to share with the listeners before signing off?
I just want to say how wonderful it is to see that the spark of innovation still burns so brightly. Always look at a problem and ask, how can I make this move better? Thank you, Calvin, for letting me tell my story once more.
It was an absolute honor, Ferdinand. Your vision for the future really did change the world. And that wraps up another conversation from Beyond the Grave. Thanks for joining us on the Headstones and Microphones podcast. Remember, legends may die, but their stories never do. Please help spread the word by sharing and following the pod.